In this one, I've got like a weird clicky thing on my chair. I'm sorry. I keep leaning on it and it goes... It's like my friggin' hip. We're going to be looking at the... I don't know what even this set's called. It's got a bull on it. Fucking Minotaur. And this set kind of confuses me. Simply just because explosive resistance, defensive, skill health, skill tier, or skill build sense. So you'd expect a skill tier. And then it's got LMG damage, which is obviously more of a red thing. So it's got all three. And it's very rare we actually come across a set like this. And the best example I can really give of something like this is very much thanks to Azuman, who does on occasion watch my videos. So if you are watching, shout out Azuman, who keeps this absolutely lovely, awesome spreadsheet active. And I am just going to try and move my hideous boggin head over there. So 511 comes with an armor core, health, incoming repairs. Like it's highlighted blue. If they're defensive, they're blue. If they're red, they're damaging. If they're yellow, it's skill orientated. Okay, literally you can go through, but the only other set that is yellow, blue, red in any combination is electric. Status effect, Hasbro, essentially, SMG. You do get some mix-ups, but like Habsburg, I don't understand it. But then Brazos is just weird with its being armor core and then 2 skills and then essentially a red. Mostly though, if it comes with an armor core, most of the talents typically will be blue. They might have 1 red thrown in, Badger Tough being kind of like an outlier in this regard from like an older set. Simply because Badger, shotgun, and then armor on kill. Shotguns allow for a lot of damage, so it's fine. It works out. But Bellstone, armor, and it's got armor regen. You get the picture, right? And then if we come down to like the skill tiers, a lot of them are skill orientated. Richter and Kaiser being the odd one out, really. We're having it more defensive orientated, despite having a skill tier. But then it's also geared towards having a shield. Richter and Kaiser with its incoming repairs, explosive resistance, and then repair skills. It's very geared towards shielding or utilizing the bulwark shield or etc. etc. Another outlier will be Hanayu, which obviously does come with weapon damage. But when we come down to like the reds, the only outlier really is Seska. But then that's because Seska is like one of the most powerful sets, at least I would argue, simply just because it's very difficult to find any form of capability of getting crit chance. The mods are 6%, the rolls are 6%, the attachments on weapons are 5%, and then in comes Seska going here, have 10. So for me, in terms of balance, it kind of makes sense that Hasbro health. It's a bit of a cop-out, but I get it. It's fine. I can deal with it. Other than that, the only other one is going to be Gruppo with explosive damage. However, being the fact that we have so few sources of explosive damage, I'm willing to take that hit. But then we have what can only be described as this mess. Like, this is terrible. Like, this doesn't work for anything. I can only think of one person who will make any use of this, and it will be a one piece. Because it has explosive resistance on it. This one person just weirdly loves explosive resistance builds. The skill health is going to be utterly useless, considering we have so many other and better sources that are going to benefit more from this in the long run. And I kind of feel like the LMG damage is just tacked on there because they had a brain enema trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with themselves. And then it comes with a blue core. Like, I don't understand why it would come with a blue core at all. I would have accepted a skill tier, but ideally you would still want this as red. Not because of I'm a meta player and I'm an elitist and everything red 100% of the time. But let's face it, if you're going to put this on a backpack attached to this brand set, all you're doing is fucking over players. The idea is, I imagine their thinking is, people are gonna want to get crit chance, crit damage, and then turn this to a red core. They'll have to deal with the explosive resistance, but they get perfect unstoppable force. This would be great. Quick side note, quick tangent. Are we on normal unstoppable force? Are we going to get the 2 stacks with grenade kills as well? I mean, getting grenade kills on anything above normal is near enough fucking impossible, by the way. Regardless of this, if you want us to get grenade kills that consistently, add a 0 onto the end of every single one of these. And then maybe it will be worthwhile. But until then, it ain't happening. Stop it. But yeah, is normal unstoppable force getting its, 1 stack with a grenade kill, because this kind of seems like a really poor attempt at being like, grenades are useful, guys. Yeah, devs, we don't play on normal. Like, you might. Can see Ryberg running around on normal and still fucking struggling. But we don't play on normal. Most of the players, at least from what I am aware, will play on challenging and above. There are some absolutely lunatics like myself who try to exclusively farm and play on legendary, but our legendary pickings are quite slim, so we do tend to play on heroic with a good few directives. We like the challenge. At this point, the game is mostly easy, and depending on how you play, Regulus, it's trivial mostly. So yeah, this being a blue core and coming on this sort of set, I don't want to say it's a cop-out. It's completely bloody stupid. And whoever had this idea should get a slap and buy the entire office coffee and donuts, like expensive, like fucking artisan coffee. It comes in a cup like that big, but it costs you like $20 kind of thing, you know, every day for like 2 months, because this is a shit idea. This is terrible. This is utterly terrible. Perfect Mad Bomber, I can't get mad about. It's a pretty useless-ish chess talent anyway. It has to come out eventually. I would honestly argue it kind of fits the theme with this one, minus LMG. I mean, why is this not explosive damage? Explosive resistance, skill health, I'd get behind. I mean, skill damage would have been better, but skill health, fine. Explosive damage. Perfect Mad Bomber. Did you put all of your IQs in a crayon box and then the CEO just ate them? Just punched the mic again. I do this a lot. This set is dead in the water from the off. Even despite how excited I mean, I'm going to have to crunch some numbers, but, you know, at the moment, it's just Coke, I swear. At the moment, I do not see a point in this at all. I do not see a point in Perfect Unstoppable Force. I was really hoping this would get attached to a new brand. Even if it was just Walker and Harris with 5% weapon damage, this would be a game changer. This would shake up the meta. It's not going to shake up the meta in every situation ever, because there are still going to be instances where Vigilance, having that instant damage that you would need, is going to be beneficial, such as things like... I've forgotten the word for it now. Jesus. Headhunter, where you need that immediate damage until you get the Headhunter stack, and then Headhunter can take over, and then you don't need to worry about Vigilance anymore. But having something like this on like an AR build, short term, Vigilance will still win. But over the course of a mission, or depending on what it is you're doing, long term, this would absolutely outperform Vigilance. It's amazing. But due to the simple fact that it's got this explosive resistance on it, this is dead in the water. I'm going to have to run some spreadsheets and numbers and check things, but I can't see this being a benefit in any place. I mean, this is going to be like a poor example, but you kind of get it, right? This is going to be 25% total weapon damage times 15% headshot damage. Perfect Unstoppable Force is 5% total weapon damage, stacks up to 7 times. This is 35%, which gives us 43. Well, 1.43 minus the 1. On a headshot, this backpack alone, despite the fact that we have less total weapon damage, is going to give us, because we're hitting the headshot, it's going to give us 43% more damage. And then if we get a crit, it's the same deal. Like, this is like a very loose formula. I'm just looking at the backpack, when you compare it to the overall build, it's going to be very different. If you just look at the backpack, it's the total weapon damage times either the crit damage, the headshot, the crit chance with, okay, the total weapon, that the overall shot for shot will be lower. But because we're going to be critting more frequently, the overall DPS will most likely be higher. I get the idea for balance, but considering, I mean, this is the gift, right? It's a named item. It's probably the worst named item in the game. Don't get me wrong, but it's still a named item. It comes with headshot, crit chance, crit damage, red cores. These are all damage-orientated set bonuses. It's red cores. It's all damage. And we've got a damage talent, a perfect damage talent. So although balance is one idea, there are some things in the game that are just completely, and that have been implemented, that go completely and utterly against that ideology of balance. So as much as I want to sit here and say, oh, it's for balance, it's like I can't hold that 100% of the time. I mean, the gift. Like, I'm kind of like just low flexing, but like crit chance, crit damage, vigilance, and then headshot, crit chance, crit damage. Like, this works perfectly fine. This is like the meta backpack for one of the meta backpacks for DPS, and this can be completely overshadowed and mix up the overall meta in the game, which is what we most desperately need. And perfect unstoppable force is more than capable of doing this, because it essentially is another 10% total weapon damage, but you've got to stack it. So it's going to be like it's going to mix it up depending on how you play. But in terms of like short term, they're going to be mostly equal. But one, they've given it a blue core, and two, just using one piece. Like, I would still take, even though I'm not the best at getting consistent headshots, I would still take the headshot. But I'm not going to take explosive resistance, because that's not going to benefit me in any of my builds whatsoever. It's just not. It's kind of pathetic and really stupid. So, yeah, new set with the new perfect talent. I get, like I said, the explosive perfect mad bomber, I kind of get. It has to come out at some point, I assume. It's not the most worthwhile thing going, but it's still going to be worthwhile in that area of play, and it does kind of fit the set, minus the LMG damage, quite nicely. But overall, no, this set is completely worthless. It is. It's dead. It's not even out yet, and it's dead. It's pointless. It's not even, like, even for the off-meta players that like their weird and wacky builds, I very much doubt, I mean, I'm not in their mindset, but I very much doubt this will actually benefit them whatsoever. I can already see, though, a select few individuals coming out, oh, look, the absolutely amazing new one-man army, solo legendary with ease, coming out with the perfect unstoppable force, explosive resistance, Sawyer's knees, just all of the explosive resistance, which I suppose could be a worthwhile way to play. You're going to have a lot of defensive capabilities while bolstering your damage with this. You'd still, like, even in that regard, you'd still just be better off with a skill build and just hide. Problem solved. I don't get it. I really don't. It's a bit weird. Anyway, that's enough rambling for me. I look a bit crazy right now. I've got crazy eyes. It's because the camera's here. I want to, like, looking at the camera for me is weird, so I want to look at the screen. But at this point, it's like all like, and then I like looking at the mic. Just stare at the mic, stare at it. It's weird. Anyway, have fun. Good luck. Don't die. I'm crazy. Catch you in the next one.